Okay.
Hi, everybody. It's your girl, Linda Marcus Smith. I'm making a spectacle of myself just to read an introduction. So, the first thing I want to do is read the introduction. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, all that stuff so that I become famous. Anyway, right now we have an amazingly wonderful person I met. I've seen him before, but I really got to know him the other day at a show at Whiskey Cellar, and I invited him to be interviewed, and he said yes. He said yes, you guys.
Woo!
My guest du jour, if you know French, that means of the day, because the other one forgot about the interview. Okay, so it happens, you know. So my guest today is, like it says right over there in that square over there, Christopher Robin Baker. Yay! He's originally from Phoenix, Arizona, a photographer by trade and comedian at heart. Some of his recent accomplishments include finishing therapy and a package of fig Newtons. Yeah, I have a joke about that, but it's not about me. Chris is widely known around the area as the guy who asks for the manager, the guy who asks.
That's me.
Aside from his many performances at the Friars Club, hello, many performances at the Friars Club, Chris recently did a photo shoot with somebody I have a crush on, the legendary comedian Lewis Black. Aside from comedy and my computer giving me a hard time right now, aside from comedy and photography, Chris enjoys short drives while waiting for the street sweeper and half, keeping his wife's glass full of whatever she tells him to put in it. Let's welcome to the stage the man that's put up with my botched interview introduction 1203, the one, the only Christopher Robin Baker. Yay!
Woo!
You
Holy
survived.
moly. That is amazing. I feel so good about myself after hearing that.
You survived another botched interview. Thank you
Uh,
so much.
this is such a pleasure. I've been looking forward to this.
I always mess up the introductions. People come on and they go, "I'm out."
Never, never, never.
So you're from original. I like to go chronologically because
Oh,
you
good.
can see I'm a baby boomer. That means that's code for old.
Oh, pfft.
I would like to hear your life story, and then I might stop you and ask you to dig deeper if something really has my curiosity and I feel like it's relatable and people can have a takeaway. So why don't you tell me?
Cool.
You were born in Phoenix, Arizona?
Yeah, I was born in Phoenix, Arizona. I think it was in 85013. And that was back a few years back. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So grew up like in Central Phoenix, very middle of the road family neighborhood, etc.
Your
Um,
house was in the middle of the road?
it was, so we actually didn't live there long. Uh, it was a mobile home. No, we lived in like a really cute little neighborhood. I grew up on Flower Street. Uh, yeah, it was a good place to grow up.
Wonderful. And how many siblings might one like you have?
I might have two. I have two. That's what it is. Yeah, I've
Are
got
they
two younger brothers. I got Tom and Charlie.
are they twins?
They are not. We're all roughly 4 years apart. So I think that's how long it took our parents to forget what it was like to have another baby.
Hilarious. My mother had twins. I'm one of them.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. She didn't
That's
have
wild.
any more after that.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. Oh, I forgot in my bio, I'm also a dad. Oh my God.
Oh my. Tell me
Yeah.
how many children. This is in the present, and we'll go back to the past. But how many children do you have?
Just the one, just the one. We've got a son. He's
Uh,
22.
22. Holy
Yeah. Yeah.
Toledo.
Yeah, I had him when I was 13 and a half. So, no, just kidding. Just
Hilarious.
kidding. I take credit for him, but I didn't make him.
You didn't.
No, it was a package deal when I met my wife. So,
A
it,
blended family, man.
yes,
That's
yes.
that's so brave of you. And I was a single mom, and that's because that's all I was a single mom because I couldn't find a man like you that would marry me with baggage.
Oh,
They
shit.
thought it was baggage in my day.
Yeah, my friend told me to avoid it, but I thought to myself, I thought, do I really want to avoid somebody because they have a kid? And
That's
not
so
to mention the fact I didn't get a lot of action, and this was clear evidence that she puts out. So is that terrible to say that? Am I going to get bleeped?
making me laugh.
Oh, good.
That's
Okay.
all I have to say. You're making me laugh. So let's go
My
back
friend
to,
was an idiot. Well, he still is probably.
yeah, you get bad advice. I get bad advice all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it ain't about me today. It's about you. So let's
Oh,
go.
okay, sure.
Tell me about that mug you're holding up. It has a picture on it.
Oh, this was a Christmas present from my dad. It has like an artist's thing on here that he likes, and so he sent us all mugs one year, which I love it. I love this mug.
Aw,
It's got like little birds and I think little insects. I'm not sure what that could be a cicada or a locust, whatever they call them. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Nice dad. Well, I want to go back to Phoenix and you having two siblings. And what was it like were you always prankster, funny, troublemaker, or were you compliant and funny came out later? What's the deal with you growing up?
Yeah, that's a great question. What the hell was the deal with me? I think that I had a good sense of humor, but I was pretty unpleasant when I was younger. So I think I had like a lot of anxiety. So I probably wasn't like a lot of fun to be around at well, for my brothers, for other people, probably less so. But um, yeah, I grew up like super, super, super anxious. And I was known as the hyper kid on the block.
No way.
So, so I think I must have turned to humor around that time to survive. Yeah, because I got in trouble for humming in kindergarten, and I was sent to go sit outside the room, which is very humiliating and shameful if you get sent outside the room. So, but I was happy to have that advanced education at such a young age.
That life is not always a box of chocolates.
Yeah, no, apparently not. Yeah. So, I mean, that kindergarten teacher was a real son of a gun. I later found out she was a drill sergeant.
No way, she was military?
She was military and she was horrid. She was just an unpleasant woman. And I remember even in kindergarten, we'd get picked up by our parents. They would carpool and take turns picking up the kids. And on the way home, we would tell whichever parent it was about our day, which was terrible, and that we wanted Miss Anik to die. I
Hilarious.
mean, can you imagine what a
They,
horrible person you got to be for
your
kindergartners?
parents were raising the Menendez brothers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We didn't want to kill her. We just wanted something to happen that, that we could go to school and find out that she had suddenly had a horrible, tragic end.
Somebody did comedy. I don't know who. Somebody did comedy and they said that they wished that their teacher would die, and that day she died.
Oh God, we were not that lucky. We were not that lucky. God, that's crazy. Yeah, no, and I had to put up with her for 2 years because my birthday fell late and I was not very socially mature apparently. So they held me back another year, which when you get into your mid 40s, you start to think back of, why am I so screwed up? And I mean, I blame her because they say you can't blame your parents, so I've got to blame somebody.
I'm smitten by you, who you are as a comedian. Don't tell your wife I'm smitten.
Oh,
I'm smitten by you comedically
oh,
and personality wise. I think you're just the bee's knees, as the boomers would say. You're the bee's
oh,
knees. And then to find out that you married someone who was with already had children,
yeah,
and I just think the world of you. And then I got to meet your wife,
right, yeah.
and she's just as beautiful and wonderful as you are, and you're just a great
Mhm.
couple. And I was just I'm smitten by both of you. High quality. No, I mean, you might
So
have
sweet.
all kinds of hidden things that you do that I wouldn't like, that I don't know yet, but what I saw, I really liked. I really don't let me down.
Yeah, right. Well, man,
Don't
you're
tell me
very
you
intuitive.
you kick your neighbor's dog, or you poison rats. Please don't let me down.
No, no, I never kick neighbors' dogs. Yes, I try to do that when they're not around. But no, yeah, that's so sweet. You are so kind. You're making my day. Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
mean, the feeling is mutual. I felt like we were like old pals when we got to talking, and I was just like, this lady's like something else.
That's how I felt. I felt
Oh,
every time I looked over at the two of you, your faces were glowing. You were supportive of the other comedians. I could feel that good energy coming, just exuding out of both of you. And it's just
wow.
so refreshing. I mean, a lot of times you see married couples and the wives. Let me talk about the wives. Very seldom do you see the wives. And your wife is so happy to be there supporting you, and that's so rare. I could go on and on.
I mean, it is rare. You're right. That's the first show she's been to in a couple years. But no. Yeah, it was, I had to twist her arm to get her there, but she had such a good time and she had such a great time meeting you and a couple of the other ladies. She hasn't stopped talking about it, believe it or not.
That's so cool. That's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I just want you to know that you and your wife made a great impression, and that's why
Wow.
I invited you on. And so, okay, so you started in Phoenix in school, and then, like, did you go to college, or did you start the work world? What was life like? You know, did anybody see that you were funny at early on? I know you say that you
Oh,
were
that's a great,
anxious, but
yeah.
sometimes when I'm anxious, that's when I get funny.
Yeah, I always had some like goofy remark to make in the moment about things, and I think that was just like my way of like relief, bringing some relief. I remember, and I would just say like, kind of off the wall things that maybe they're not that off the wall, but for instance, I remember going to a company dinner one time, and I was young and I was shy, and I probably came across very quiet and melancholic and stuff like that. And I remember this person asked, I was like, well, I'm gonna, head home or whatever. I have to go by a certain time, and they're like, oh, why? I was like, well, my mom told me I have to be home by that time. And they looked at me and they got really serious. And they're like, you're too old for your mom to be telling you what to do. Like you should be free to do what you want. And I was like, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I just like I have something in the morning. I don't know. But I would always say things to amuse myself at the expense of others, which I guess is not a very nice thing to do comedy wise, which I guess I learned through years of trial and error. Um, but yeah, you can only offend so many people and then you have to move. So here I am. But yeah, no, I went to high school in Central Phoenix. I did go to college a few times, and then I entered the workforce.
What type of work did you do? Tell me about all the crappy jobs you had to do up till now.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, let me th I was at a grocery store upstate the other day and for the holidays, and I was like happy I got to bag the groceries because there wasn't like somebody bagging the groceries. I was like, oh my gosh, I get to bag the groceries. This used to be my favorite job. And the cashier just like looked at me like, what's the matter with you? And I'm like, nothing. Just okay, we'll move on. You have a good holiday. Um, but yeah, so I worked at car dealerships. The worst was working in the meat department at a grocery store. I don't know if you've done
why is
that.
that the worst?
Um, so I was the cleanup, and so I'd come in at the end of the day, and when people know that there's somebody going to be cleaning up after them, they're not the tidiest of people. So, you've got this hot water and this hose, and you're spraying all the meat fat and stuff off of the cutters and machines, and it's just disgusting. Yeah. But I think I got paid like 50 cents or $1 more an hour or something over like bagging groceries. And I was on my own. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. So, um, so that was terrible. Where did I go from there? And then I became a warehouse manager because somebody knew somebody from the grocery store, and they're like, Chris is such a hard worker. And so that was like very fortuitous. And uh, yeah, and then I kind of got into like entrepreneurship
Like
after that because I didn't like
making
working for
like
people.
making money?
Well, yeah, I mean, theoretically, yes. I started doing like graphic design and stuff like that on the side, and that was before, we had side hustles. Now it's like a thing. So, I did that, and then ultimately, I was always interested in comedy and filmmaking, and a friend of mine, oh, you asked, was I ever funny? Yeah, somebody used to tell me all the time I should do stand up, but I was too terrified. I couldn't do it. Um, yeah.
I was always too terrified until I turned 63.
Isn't that incredible? Like I find that so incredible, and I guess it's kind of like a hopeful thing too, because it's like when you can still discover things about yourself, at different chapters in life, it's kind of amazing is not a big enough word, right?
Yeah.
So when we moved to New York, we ran into some people at the Friars Club because we were invited to a show, and I was like, "This place is amazing. The people are amazing." And my wife is very good at like pushing me. She's like, "Go do, go do, go do," and she blurted out to the people we were talking with that I wanted to do stand-up comedy. I must have been talking about this for years, and I just didn't realize it. And so Albert Aid. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right. Sorry, Albert. But Albert was like, "Oh, you have to take Karen Berggreen's class. She's so sweet. She's so nurturing. She's so kind. Like she's like my comedy mom," he called her. And uh, so I signed up. It took me a year to get up the courage to sign up. I finally did. And as I'm having like an anxiety attack before class, I get a phone call that class is canceled because of the pandemic and everything was shutting down, and I had never been more relieved. I was so happy that I didn't have to go try to do 2 minutes of comedy. So, and then they switched us over to Zoom, and we finally performed on stage like a year later when things reopened, and it was one of those discoveries, like self-discoveries. I was like, oh my God, I can be on stage in front of people and perform something. This wasn't even like a wildest fantasy thing for me.
Do you still
So it was
have
such a
that
great,
video?
oh God, yes. Oh
I want
yeah.
to have it. I want to share it.
Oh yeah, I'd be happy to shoot it over to you.
You
It
know,
was
did you know what happened to her lately?
I just heard that Sunday night. Yeah. So I've been keeping her in my prayers because I didn't
Pray,
realize.
you guys pray for Karen Bergreen. She got hit by a car. Don't contact the family, leave them alone, but just quietly pray.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really horrible to hear. So yeah, she's a strong lady though. You know, that's the first thing I said when my friend had shared the news. I said she's a strong lady. So like I picture her making a full recovery. Um,
Good. That's the way to be.
so yeah, so like I took a few classes with her. Like it was amazing. She came and performed with us at the Friars Club one time. Um, it just like the experience here, like doing stand-up comedy here and there, it's just exceeded my wildest expectation for myself.
That's
So
so great. So
yeah,
you were never a comedian until you went to the Friars Club, and there you are sipping on coffee or wine, watching all these bigwigs,
yeah,
legends, I imagine, and it
yeah.
didn't intimidate you. You're like, I want to do this, and your wife's like, he wants to do that, and you're starting at the Friars Club.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I mean, we didn't start at the Friars Club, but or I didn't.
Yeah.
But it kind of like this opportunity fell into my lap, and I was just like, I was enamored with the place the first time we went, and I don't even understand why that was on like in my knowledge base. Like, I don't know anything about New York. I'd only been here twice before we moved here, I think. But somewhere that was like in my brain and I knew about the Dean Martin roasts, and my grandfather used to play golf with Dean Martin, and but but he never told us about it. Like I heard these stories later because he had passed when I was young. So
Your
yeah, it's just
grandpa
wild.
played golf with Dean Martin.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, so my grandfather was a golf pro. He was a teaching pro, and he worked at country clubs and golf courses, and so he would play with Dean, and Dean would come over to the house and play poker. And when they moved, he had left his golf shoes, and my grandma threw them away.
Ah.
And I was like, why in the world would you throw away Dean Martin's golf shoes? And she was like, well, what am I going to do with them? They don't fit me. Like, Grandma, oh my God, that could have paid for college if I had gone. But oh, I do have an odd collection of Sharpies. Speaking of that, I have one from John Waters that he was using to sign autographs at a event in Colorado Springs when I lived there. And then I have another Sharpie from who is that one from? Was it Jonathan Frakes? I think I stole it off of his desk from the Paramount lot. Um,
What were you doing in the Paramount lot?
we were just goofing around. A friend of ours worked there, and so so we got on the lot one day, and we just thought this was like the biggest thing ever. We're like, oh my God, we're on the lot. We're gonna be filmmakers now.
I hope the statute of limitations has passed on lifting pens at Paramount, Paramount
I hope
pens.
so too. I hope so too. Oh my gosh, now this is on tape. Okay, bleep that part out. We ate his Reese's peanut butter cup too.
Reese's peanut butter cups?
Oh my God, don't you love those?
Yes. I
Do you,
have a story about what happened to me when I was in seventh grade regarding Reese's peanut butter cups. We'll have to share it sometime. We got to talk Reese's.
yes, 100%. Oh my oh my gosh. So but yeah, so that well and that was the friend on the Paramount lot. That was the friend that told me I should do stand up. And she was like, you're gonna suck, you're gonna bomb, and then you'll get through it. And it's one of the hardest things I've ever done. Um, but I love the writing part of it. The performing does not come the easiest to me. Um, you're great on stage. You have such like you were saying that we were glowing. I mean, you glow on stage. You have such this bright energy.
Thank you. Lately, I've been getting a lot of criticism that I smile too much and I do this too much and I don't do enough of this, and I'm just like,
What?
I'm just up to here with input I don't ask for.
Yeah, right. That this is the world that we live in. You're either too nice or you smile too much, as if that's like a negative thing.
Thank you.
What is the matter with people?
Thank you. Thank you for that nice compliment. So you started. and with Karen Bergreen. And so the first time that you went on stage would have been your graduation class.
Yeah, yeah, it was I think it was May 10th, 2021. And I just kept telling myself, I was like, I I started meditating maybe 10 years ago or something. And so I just told myself, I was like, I don't know what exactly is going to happen, but it's going to be amazing. It's going to be, and I'm going to have an incredible time. I'm going to have fun. And, like whatever happens, it's going to be amazing. And it was like just one of the most memorable nights of my life.
That's so great. And then you've taken a few of her courses, so you've probably
Yeah.
been on the Gotham stage a few times with the graduation shows.
Yeah, I've done a few shows there, and then I've done like some shows like outside of that. And I mean, I love Gotham. I really do. It's one of my favorite places in the city. They have the cleanest restrooms in New York City. So I love going there. I love going to the bathroom there. It's my favorite.
I have a joke about like I'll go and do comedy, and if somebody doesn't like my comedy, they'll say, well, the bathrooms are really good here. They'll look at me after my set and talk about,
They do. They have the cleanest bathrooms, and I just respect that so much in a city like this, especially. I take pride in my bathroom, obviously. So,
they do have beautiful bathrooms.
yes, they do. They do. They should advertise that more. I feel like they're not getting enough credit, but
We should all go into the bathrooms to flush out our jokes.
we should.
Some of us literally.
The newest open mic in the city takes place in the women's room at Gotham Comedy every day at whatever time Linda goes potty. I'll be there. Yeah, I'll get arrested, but I'll go.
What's your favorite? You say you like the writing process. I do too. I would rather be writing um, and coming up with new material than spending time trying to figure out how to do a comedy set that makes sense at 75 and three quarters years old. But so what, tell me specifically how you write and your favorite part of writing. Is it the premises, the punchlines, the tags, all of it? Your turn to talk.
I mean, I think it's all of it, but like I love getting a premise and then that like that very very early stage of the premise where you're just like, "Oh, I think this is something." And then I mean, you know how it is, like most of the time it's not something. Um but I write it down and I keep it in my document of comedy, and sometimes 3 years later I say something on stage and I was like, "Wait a minute. I can use that thing I wrote 3 years ago to tie it with this, and now I have a punchline." So I think that's kind of miraculous when, things can like gestate for this period of time, and then all of a sudden, boom, like that happened this morning. I was going to the bathroom and something came to me, and I was flushing it out apparently. So yeah, I love that, and the performing part of it is a challenge. However, I love. I don't necessarily love to perform, but I love the process of it because it's so hard to like finish a joke or finish writing a joke without performing it because you don't know how it's going to hit, right? So, so yeah, to have that, like to be able to take something from here over to the stage and get a reaction is, I mean, it's pretty incredible.
It is. It's like giving birth, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Very much so. Yes, yes. Oh yeah, no, I guess, no, I came after the fact, so I missed that part. Sorry. But I've seen videos.
Our jokes are our babies.
Yeah, yeah.
We had them from inception to birth, and when they hit, it's like you have that good child, and then you have the other ones that you might not love as much.
I love them all equally, but I've found that other people don't. So I have to, yeah, I have to take them out with some degree of what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, uh,
Objectivity?
yeah, or like discernment. What I don't know. I can't find the word. God damn it. Anyway, um, yeah, you know what I'm
So,
trying.
who are you when you're not a comedian in your day job? Talk a little bit about what your neighbors think of you, what kind of pastimes you have, what you and your wife pastimes, and so who you are off stage. Because
Yeah,
we've gotten a good flavor for how naturally funny you are.
well yeah, and that's I guess that's just me. I've always like been silly, and then I think I've gotten sillier. And I like growing up, my dad would say these things that were just not the right thing to be saying in the moment, and he thought it was amusing. I guess they call those dad jokes, but we didn't have sexual harassment back then when we were growing up, but if we did, I think he would have been accused a couple of times. I mean, play like not doing anything like crazy, like, out of what I'm trying to say. He didn't attack anybody or do anything weird, but just saying like dumb, like the things I was like, oh my God, no, 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 Dad is doing it again.
There used to be
Um,
this guy on Facebook, I think Facebook or Instagram, and his moniker on the social media was "shit my dad said."
yes, yes. You know what? I want to do a show where the jokes are based on things my dad said.
Oh, I would love that.
And then every comic brings these things that their dad told them, or things my dad told me, or things my dad said. All right, well, let's do it. Let's put it together.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, I love this.
Okay.
Things are happening. Wow, 2026 is off to a great start.
You like it?
Yes. Are
You're
you
hopeful?
Yes, my hope reservoir has been refilled. I refill it at midnight on January 1st. So I'm still very optimistic at this point.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but yeah, I guess to answer your question, like I tend to be silly, and I was the guy who always like took something that somebody said and, said some silly remark about it. And so people were like, "Oh, Chris, you're so funny."
that's
And
so
I was like,
cool.
this comedy thing should be easy then. Everyone thinks I'm funny. And then you get on stage and you're like, "This is the hardest thing ever."
Hardest.
And people are drinking and it's still hard.
You would think that it would be a piece of cake if they're getting drunk to make them
Yeah,
laugh, but
you would
yeah.
think. You would think. So
What's so what? Okay, before we go into who you are off stage, what's the best and worst thing that's ever happened to you in comedy without naming people in clubs?
yeah. Oh, the best and worst thing that's ever happened to me in comedy. The best thing, I suppose, I mean, it's got to be doing shows at the Friars Club. Although the first performance at Gotham it's really tied. I mean, it was such an experience that I didn't think was possible for myself. Um, and then the worst thing, I don't think that's happened yet.
That's
I mean,
great.
I've bombed sometimes, but I mean, you're supposed to, right?
Yeah, that's right. Especially, like bombing is just that's the way you learn. I mean, I think that we learn when we bomb and we don't learn when we kill or do
Yeah.
well. What do you learn? You learn they like this group of people liked your jokes and the next group might not like you. I love to go bomb. Sometimes I purposely, if I have a big show I'm concerned about, I
Yeah.
purposely pick like the worst mic ever with bad bathrooms and go and purposely just don't care what I say. It has nothing to do with the big show coming up. I don't care if I bomb. I probably do bomb. And I don't care. I got the bomb out of the way for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that makes sense to me.
Because then you're like remotivated. Oh, I bombed. But you purposely set out to bomb so you're not depressed about it.
Yeah.
You're in control.
Wow, that's a good way to look at it. I never looked at it like that.
I got all kinds of all kinds of messed up thinking going on.
But I mean, I didn't have the greatest set the other night, and it caused me to like focus.
Exactly.
And so that was my takeaway from the other night, where I was like, okay, let's really like focus in on these things that seem to work most of the time, and let's kind of organize our thoughts around those and not do this other nonsense.
I thought you were hysterical. I think
Oh,
there's
thank you.
nothing funnier than this is how sick I am. Okay, I'm just telling. I think there's nothing funnier than a comedian going on stage and they're so in tune with the audience and so aware that this or this might not be flying, and then they're up there and they're able to try to switch or acknowledge it and find something that is funny, and the look on their face, the horror on their face, but they're staying positive. It's fun. It's a fun ride. You might not have enjoyed it, but
Oh, I'm so glad to hear you say that. That
there's
just again,
comedy. That's
yeah,
that's you know,
yeah.
like look at Dean Martin. He used to pretend he was drunk.
Oh, he was pretending?
I don't know. Nobody really knows.
Yeah, we'll never know. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. But yeah. So wait, what were we saying?
How funny. To me, it's funny when a comedian is up there and
Oh,
you can
bombing. Yeah.
see, and well, not that you were bombing, but maybe a joke doesn't work. Then what does the comedian do to try
Mm.
to make it funny? Like Seth Meyers cracks me up
Yeah,
because
he's
joke doesn't hit, he knows how to, he's got that muscle. And you were so fun to watch because you were so in it, and
oh,
you weren't giving up. You were like, I know it's not working, but I'm gonna go to this, like, now what was like, and it was just the scrambling made it funny.
yeah. Oh, good. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. That makes me
Maybe
feel
it wasn't the set you wanted it to be, maybe, but I found it to be hugely entertaining and fun and funny. And I can
oh,
tell,
good.
I could see you're naturally funny, even though that set might not be what you wanted it to be. It was super.
Yeah, and like I said, like my takeaway was like it just made me narrow my focus, and that's what it caused me to do. So the result, like that's I guess the other cool thing about stand up is there's some takeaway every time. And I just remembered this. I'm trying to think who it was. Was it James Mattern? There was one of these podcasts I listened to, they would say like have an assignment for each time you are on stage, whether it's a mic or a show. And so every time I would write down, okay, I want to connect with the audience this time better, or I want to memorize this joke better, or whatever it was. So there was always a purpose to that particular set. And then you walk away with something new each time. And I mean, sometimes you walk away with new friends, like, like meeting you. Like I've met so many cool people doing this. It's really, and I think that's the other part of it. I used to sell real estate in Arizona for about 18 years, and in the car, I would just, talk about my life, make up silly anecdotes, and so people were always laughing at whatever I was saying, and I love that. So the whole people aspect, I think, is like the heart of it for me. Um, and then after, taking some classes and learning a bit more how to perform, and learning how to really like be responsible to the audience. Like that was another big, learning piece where it's like these people have like taken time away from their schedule, their life to come to this show. Like you're there to give them a good time. And I never looked at it from that perspective before. I was just like, it's stand up. Everyone's happy to be there and whatever, whatever. But I heard different people talk about it and they're like, no, like people hired babysitters to be at that show, or they arranged their day to be at that show. They spent X amount of their income on this show. So you owe them your best.
That makes me tear up to hear you say that, because that is, we didn't get in, I didn't get into comedy for the political or the competition or, I got in for those people that are sitting in the audience.
Yeah.
That's, I want to make those people laugh. I might not be able to make the uber intelligent comedians in the audience who are critical. I might not be able to necessarily make 100% of them laugh, but the comedy's subjective. And as long as I go in and remember that the audience is what got me in, and
Yeah.
that's my focus, it'll sustain me through the tough times.
Yeah. 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 And I mean, the world that we're living in is stressful to say the least. And if we can, have some camaraderie and laughs together, like as human people, I just, you know, I love that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what do you and your wife golf and did you start like what things do you and your wife do in the community and your neighbor just with your kids? Like I want to know a little bit about you and your wife. I think, I do have bookers and club owners and agents and they like to get a feel of who you really are off stage as much as on. So, would you mind sharing a little bit about your personal how you interact with your community
Yeah,
and extended
absolutely.
family?
I suppose I'm not as up on it as I used to be. I used to volunteer at various things, so I guess this is a reminder to look back into that. But but generally, yeah, like me and my wife, we really just enjoy being around people. Um, so like yes, we love to travel, yes, we love to eat. Um, but all of that, it kind of centers around being around, close friends. Um, so I guess that's what we do in our pastimes is, we spend it with friends and, new and existing.
Got it. Very good.
Yeah.
Do your,
Yeah.
do your children keep you busy with things in the community and running them around, or are they
Um,
beyond that?
yeah, Preston, he uh wasn't really into extracurricular stuff. But he keeps us running around now, like when he needs a ride somewhere. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, he moved out, so uh he was a pretty easy kid though, I gotta say. But yeah, I mean, we would be involved with like stuff at his school. He went to school in Arizona, so we were involved in stuff there. And um yeah, I mean, we used to volunteer like at Christmas time, and we would like do these toy drives for schools in, areas that were a little bit disadvantaged. So that I have really fond memories of doing. I wish that we did more of that now. After moving here, we didn't kind of like, I guess we haven't found like a volunteer group to fall in with. Um, so I miss that.
That's always fun.
Yeah, yeah. I guess this is a good reminder to
Yeah.
get back into that. Yeah, but one of the things I can be a little grumpy, and so my wife, she's like, I always look for good things happening on the subway because I'm like, oh, the subway was crowded, or oh, this person like bumped me, and she's like, I always look for good things happening. So now I go out, and that's like I'm like, I start to get anxious about all the people and the crowds, and then I'm like, wait, let's take a pause, let's look for something good. So I try to look for good things that are occurring around me, or I look at where I can like help somebody.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's so great. That's a fabulous idea. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I'm the clearing for negativity. Like my antenna is up and that's all I find. So
I mean,
I
it's so
like,
easy. It's so easy. I had this joke I was working on about people are always like, "Oh, I love the New York energy." I was like, "Folks, this is not energy. This is a concentrated form of anxiety and frustration." And I mean, really, it's not, but it can feel like it sometimes.
yes.
I I might have yelled at somebody in the street the other day. But it was I had a good intention because he was yelling at this guy in this car. And one of my mantras is there's plenty of room for everybody when I start to feel like crowded. And this blurted out of my mouth. I was like, there's plenty of room for everybody. I was like, go have a Merry Christmas. This was a couple of weeks ago. And I was like, oh my God, did I just do that? This is what New York does to a person. I never would have done that 10 years ago.
It's so funny because was living in Brooklyn in the 90s and I was here a year and I remember thinking it's time to leave because there was a taxi in my way and I went on the trunk of the car and I was like, get out of my way. And I'm like, it's time for me.
No. But you're still
New
here. You're still
New
here.
York will get you. You know, if you're
Oh
not
yeah.
careful, it'll suck you dry.
I mean, New York, I mean, the energy is amazing because the thing about New York is whatever you're feeling and experiencing, New York is there to mirror it. If you're having the best day of your life, it's going to mirror that around you. If you're in like a terrible mood, it's going to give it right back to you in real time. So it's really like from a personal growth standpoint, that's one thing I love about the city because I was like, I can always tell how I'm doing on the inside. Uh,
I I have so much difficulty with grouchy people, and I would go and talk to my shrink about it. You know, I just wear her out. How, you know, difficult people bother me, and it bothers me that this and it bothers. And I got her addicted on opioids. I swear. Every time she was 15 minutes late because she needed to go pop some pills. It's true. I was like, where's the lady? Oh, she needed to take a few pills to see you.
she had to prep for the session. Oh my God, stop. You're so funny. You're so lighthearted though. I can't even imagine. But
I used to be the biggest Debbie Downer. You know that
oh,
do you remember the Saturday Night Live skit, Debbie Downer?
oh yes. Oh yes.
That was me. I could always top everybody else's problems.
I can relate. I can relate. Um, yeah, I was thinking today, I was like, Chris, stop being an Eeyore. You know?
It's so good to talk about, you know, how we have struggles. I mean, this is real. This is
Yeah.
real life. So tell me how comedy's been going since you took Karen Bergreen's classes and you did comedy at the Friars Club a few times. And I think you put in your bio that you have done a few other clubs. And so tell me what your goals are and how it's been going and how far will you travel if somebody wants to book you, that kind of stuff, why they should want to book you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think that they should want to book me because I'm just a delightful human being. Aside from that, though, I don't have any travel limitations. So anywhere in this planet, I'm willing to go. I um I gave up on comedy a few years ago. I really got I was going through like a career transition. My wife was telling people I was transitioning, and I had to explain to her that that means something different now. Um, But but yeah, so anyway, I was going through a difficult time and then I was like, all right, maybe this comedy thing is ridiculous. Why am I doing this? And then of course, like I got pulled back into it. So I've been back at it for the last couple of years, thankfully. And did I answer the question? I'm trailing off here. I don't
You
know.
did.
But
You did
yeah,
good with that. And then, like, where do you want to go with your comedy? Like, how far do you want to go? How receptive have people been to give you spots? What other places would you like to get booked? Put some wishes out there for people.
yeah, I mean, I think I had a goal. And I had my vision board back in 2019, and I don't know why I haven't redone one. I think because the next year was 2020 and everything kind of went haywire. And I was like, oh, well, that vision board didn't really. But I really would love to earn my living through like using my voice. I think that's my ultimate wish. Um, I'm working on a documentary about comedy and mental health. So, I would love to interview you. Um, and so to finish that and to like actually like be in some clubs performing would be the ultimate the ultimate. Yeah.
So I am part of One Degree of Separation. It's a comedy troupe for the military, and we take them through 5 questions, and we talk about um, how we've struggled with suicide thoughts or suicidal ideation or hospitalization, and we help the military and the veterans to dialogue and see examples of other people who have struggled up on stage doing comedy. So it's like we do comedy and then we get real and they love it. And so
Wow.
it's really rewarding because I'm a veteran and I know the suicide rate among the. So I'd love to come on your podcast, not just to plug them, but to talk
Yeah.
about some of my personal struggles and
That
how
would be amazing.
overcome.
I'd love that so much.
Yeah, I thought you would. That's awesome that you care about mental health.
Yeah, I mean, mental health is difficult and sometimes we don't realize it until we hit a certain spot and then we're like, ah, geez, what now?
Exactly.
So,
It gets
yeah,
real.
yeah, yeah.
So, in your comedy these days, how far would you like, what's the dream for you, the dream job or the dream place to perform or the dream club?
Such great questions. I honestly, I don't really have like a club thing like of somewhere I want to perform. I just think like any club is great because if you're there with an audience, like what does it matter where you are? And yeah, I mean, I'd love to perform like around the tri-state area. And so I think now I'm like getting into a point where I want to like mature a little more and I guess the goal is to get like a solid 15 minutes and then a solid 30 minutes because it's been more of a hobby up until this point and I think that would be incredible. So,
That's amazing.
yeah.
So, right now, how many minutes do you have that you consider to be solid?
I mean, I think I have probably a pretty solid 15 minutes, but I've never like done it together. It's always in smaller bits. So, but I know if I like focus in on it, like I have, yeah, maybe 15, 20 minutes. Who knows?
Very good. I love that.
Yeah.
So, when do you have a show coming up or a couple shows you want to plug?
I have a show on Friday at Don't Tell Mama. So that will be a ton of fun. And then my next show after that is in October that I know of at the Catskills Comedy Festival.
What?
Uh, yeah. And
That's so cool.
God willing, I'll have a bunch that'll fill in between. I got to get to work.
I'm going to be in the Adirondacks.
Oh, nice.
No, the
That's
chairs at the beach.
those are my favorite chair.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Well,
maybe
this has been fun to get to know you and have people get to know you here. But plug your podcast, plug your social media, please.
Oh yeah. I mean I used to have a podcast. It is still up. It's called The Overthunk Show because I'm an overthinker. So me and my buddy did that. And then I am CRB in NYC on the Instagram. And yeah, thank you. This is so fun. You are such a delight to talk to. I know that everyone probably tells you that, but it's so true.
So sweet. Thank you. I'm
Yeah.
hard on myself. I don't need anybody else being hard on me. I'm hard on
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Yeah,
Preach
I
to the
get that.
choir.
Yeah.
This
Thank you
is
so much,
great.
Linda.
Thank you so very much.
You
So, you
bet.
guys, get on the Instagram and say your Instagram one more time, please,
Oh yeah,
Christopher.
it's CRB like for Christopher Robin Baker. So CRB at in NYC.
CRB,
In NYC.
CR, like R, a pirate, B, like B, CRB in NYC on IG.
That is me.
Thank you, Christopher. We'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon.
See you soon. Yeah.
Bye. Love you
Bye.
lots.